The other question I have is on the redevelopment status of Millenium Homes for the properties on 3rd and Valley. They have been given redeveloper status for those properties. And my question is that since we have never seen any plan for that, why don't we rescind, since Valley Street is going to be redeveloped, or a plan is going to be proposed for Valley Street, why don't we rescind that redevelopment status from Millenium Homes?
And you have a legal opinion?
Well, it's a policy, that's a board policy decision. I'm not sure what the board wants to do, but I remember, why are you asking, why should we?
Because I think we're on a slippery slope with the properties, because now the town owns all of those properties.
Correct.
Those are assets of our town.
I'm sorry?
Those are assets of the town, the village. It includes the parking lots as well as the Gulf Station and the old car dealership lot that was just purchased.
Not purchased yet, but it's being
potentially purchased.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's two things there. Yeah. One is, first of all, they did show plans. Was there anything found with that? Obviously, it's nothing. I did ask you a couple months ago about that in closed session. You said you would get back to us at one point about what we could do legally. You said there could be some legal issues for the matter. So.
Well, I think if they're designated as redevelopers, they should put a plan in place. And if they don't, we should take it back from them.
Well, what is the question, Howard, on the whole thing? Because not all that parcel is part of it is in the redevelopment area, not all of it is, and there will be hearings at the planning board level at the next meeting about the situation of Valley Street, whether it be a redevelopment.
I disagree with you. The properties that were designated for Millenium Homes was all in the redevelopment area. It included the parking lots, which were village property.
Right, but not all the property that squares off that block is in the redevelopment area.
Correct.
Right. So that's what the planning board is looking at this next meeting in June. That parcel and other parcels.
You're suggesting that they're going to expand the scope for Millenium Homes?
Not necessarily for Millenium Homes, but it'd be for any developer, the scope could change.
Well, then that goes back to the recommendation of taking redeveloper status away from Millenium Homes.
What should be taken away now for when the planning board is going to make a decision?
Negotiate with another developer, unless he's going to sell his rights to redevelopment.
No. And you're putting like somebody said before, you're trying to put words in people's mouth. They're designated as a redeveloper on a site, okay? That site is not completely in a redevelopment area now, with the whole, or a rehabilitation area that could be developed there too. Right now, only part of it is in a redevelopment area. And that's what the planning board is going to look at, all of Valley Street, including this parcel, with the completion of this parcel, which is the 1 square block. You understand what I'm saying, Howard?
Well, Mr. Levinson, I think you have to understand that the board, and I forget dates, so forgive me on that. The board did designate Millenium Homes as a redeveloper for a certain number of parcels.
Correct.
Subsequent to that, the board also made a decision and requested that the planning board undertake a study essentially of all of Valley Street. And I think that because that study was started, Millenium has kind of been in equipoise, not doing anything, because they were waiting to see what was going to happen with the rest of Valley Street.
That is the rationale.
And the board has the option at some point of deciding whether it wants them to go forward developing the site they have, whether it wants to wait and look at the whole of Valley Street or what. And I think they at least were waiting for the study from the planner.
Excuse me? At this point, there's not an urgency until we finish the redevelopment stuff. But at a certain point, we'll have to...
The planning board has a report for the planner.
Yes.
They're going to have a hearing on that report June meeting. And then at that point, the planning board will make a recommendation to this board.
And I think what Mr. Mazza said is what I said, the block has not been squared off in the redevelopment zone, and anybody wants to develop that, we would prefer to have a square block one way or the other.
Well, wasn't the two properties in the original redevelopment
The
zone?
front on Valley Street, but not the properties that bought other streets in that redevelopment zone.
Well, the other properties are property owned by the township.
No, there's other properties involved, and they're not in the redevelopment
The
zone.
original redevelopment zone included our parking lot, the Gulf Station, and the Map Building.
Which is the properties that were designated for the Millenium.
Actually, I think there's also a property on, 4th Street.
4th Street, and you got two more on Valley Street, and there's not a square block.
But you're correct, since we designated Millennium, the village has acquired two additional properties. And at some point in time, Millennium is going to have to negotiate the purchase of those properties from the...
If they develop the original site.
Whoever develops that.
Including the parking lot.
Yes.
If they come in with a plan that gets approved, and it includes the parking lot of those two sites, then you're going to have to negotiate the purchase of those sites.